Hello, dear students, Jai Hind, very good morning. Welcome back to our revision program. As you all know, dear students, as far as our revision program is concerned, you are sent already revision lectures for chapter number 1, chapter number 5, and you also have attended 5 revision lectures of chapter number 10, that is mensuration. Okay, dear student, as I told you before we started our revision program, that we are giving more importance to those chapters initially which are carrying much importance for you in higher standard, as you all know. That's why we started the revision of this few chapters 1, 5 and 10. Now, dear student, as far as chapter 10 is concerned, I would like to take some of the examples, and I find it that even the 5 revision lecture I could not find sufficient for the revision of chapter number 10, that is mensuration. So, dear student, in today's lecture, what we are targeting are some of the extraordinary examples, understand, which needs some particular logic on your part. Then and then you will be able to solve those examples. You need to apply logic, and what we are going to do, dear student, in every lecture as we do in revision, we first give you any example. You just write the example, and before I start, you need to read that example again and again, and at least try to gather in your mind which method can be adopted in solving that sum. Okay? So, dear student, I would like to take first revision example in today's lecture, and as you know, the title of the chapter is mensuration. As you all know, my dear student, mensuration. Okay, and today you are attending revision lecture 6. Okay, and in this revision lecture 6, we are going to discuss few very important example, and one more thing I want to share with you, dear student. Most probably what we do when I deliver any homework to you, you are receiving homework since the revision lecture has started. Homework is designed in such a way. Many times you get the homework right, explain some once, twice. Why? Because as far as revision lectures are concerned, the target is If you do those sum once though you have done in the lecture, and if you do them once again, then that will benefit you to strengthen yourself in those concepts. That's the target. That's why many times you are receiving the homework in this manner also. Okay, dear student. So now let me write one example here. Okay. Example number one. What I am writing, you please concentrate on the given data. Okay. This is the way I am writing. If, just understand, dear student, if 4 cubic centimeter weighs, if, just write down with me, if 4 cubic centimeter weighs 1 upon 8 gram, if 4 cubic centimeter weighs 1 upon 8 gram. Okay. Is okay? Just write dear. So let me make one change. You just write one. 1 cubic centimeter weighs 1 upon 8 gram. Then, then find the weight of, find the weight of wooden block. Find the weight of wooden block having, find the weight of wooden block having dimensions, having dimensions 10 centimeter into 5 centimeter into 3 centimeter. Okay, dear student. Now, what is the demand of the sum? Quite simple. You have to find the weight of the wooden block. And what you, for finding the weight of the wooden block, you are already given what is the weight of 1 cubic centimeter 1 upon 8 gram. So, dear student, you are already given the weight of the wooden block that has been given to you, that 1 centimeter cube weighs 1 upon 8 gram. This relation is actually a clue point for you that you have to find volume. Okay, dear students, so let us write. Therefore, first, whatever the parameters are given, L, what is the length, dear student? 10 centimeter. Breadth, what is it given? 5 centimeter. Height, what is given? 3 centimeter. Length, breadth and height are already given for the wooden block. Let us find the volume. I would like to write volume of wooden block, okay, is equal to LBH. As you know, the volume of the cuboid. Let us just substitute the values 10 into 5 into 3. Okay, this turns out to be 150 cubic centimeter. What is the weight of 1 cubic centimeter? 1 upon 8 gram. So, my dear student, you can write this way. Therefore, weight of wooden block, weight of wooden block equal to 150 multiplied by 1 upon 8, as you know very well, cancellation whatever is possible. Okay, 2 4 ja, 275 ja. Now the further cancellation, dear student, 72, so 4 19 ja, तो 4 18 ja. Let us take 4 1 ja 4, 3 4 8 ja. Okay, so 2 left, point 0 18.5 gram. Okay, just look at the sum, dear student. Understand, if we were not able to solve during sometime in the regular study, then this is just an explanation of this particular examples. Okay, just you look at this and we will have one another example of this type, but with little variate data. Okay, and one more example which I give here, that you will try to solve by yourself. Okay, but I am going to give that particular example with little variation in the sum. So first you need to understand what minor variation and alteration I have done in the example, that you need to catch first. Okay. Should I erase this? Let us write another example which you will just do as a self study. Okay. Let me write the sum. Okay. This is the example. If 10 cubic centimeter weighs 10 cubic centimeter weighs 200 gram, find the weight of a cuboid. Find the weight of a cuboid with dimensions with dimensions 8 centimeter into 6 centimeter into 3 centimeter. Okay, just try to solve this example. You are already given the necessary dimensions, and you are also given at the same time weight. But in the example, there is a little variation in the sum, and that variation you have to catch, dear student. The variation is very important. There is minute variation I have made. Though such variation hasn't been mentioned in the textbook, but I have myself made a little variation. Okay. In the previous example, it has been given that 1 centimeter weighs 200 gram. I have just modified it. 10 centimeter cube weighs 200 gram. Then find the weight of a cuboid with dimension 8 centimeter into 6 centimeter into 3 centimeter. Okay. So let me start, dear student. But the first one, you are given weight of how many centimeter cube? 10. So let me write this statement, dear student. Weight of weight of 1 cubic centimeter equals to weight of 10 cubic centimeter has been given. Let us find the weight of 1 cubic centimeter divided by 10. Just cancel. You got 20 gram. Okay. This is the only looking variation in this example. Weight of 100 cubic centimeter was given, and from that, just by the division, unitary method, dear students, somewhat the same type, you got the weight of 1 cubic centimeter. Okay. Now, as usual, volume of cuboid, okay, equals to L into B into H. It has been given 8 into 6 into 3. Understood? 6 3 ja 18, 8 ja 144 cubic centimeter. And now, dear student, the final statement. Therefore, weight of wooden block is equal to 144 into 20. which turns out to be 2880 gram. Please just note down the example. Understand? You can not so difficult looking example, but here you need to be very conscious about. And ultimately, it looks like unitary method that you are given the weight of 10 cubic centimeter. You need the weight of 1 cubic centimeter to be utilized in finding the weight of the given cuboid. Okay. So first just see, dear student. Okay. Let us go for another example. Okay. Now, dear student, the example which we are solving now is very, very important, because before I solve this example for you, because this example needs a little more understanding on your part. So, and I also want to discuss some of the MCQs based on this particular type of example. Now, dear student, just what I want to share with you is this. Suppose in this particular chapter, I'm not going to discuss about those solids. Some of the solids you will discuss about in upper standard. Understand? We are just targeting which solid. So as you know, dear student, we are targeting cube, we are targeting cuboid, we are targeting cylinder. Rest are also there if you know. Sphere. Also there is one another solid, hemisphere. Okay. And also cone. These three solid, dear student, you will discuss in detail in ninth and 10th. Okay. Just now our target remains on cube, cuboid and cylinder. What is my important point is this. Suppose, dear student, if one solid is melted, just try to understand what I am suggesting to you. If one solid is melted and converted into another solid, suppose, just think, suppose I have one cube, okay, metal cube, suppose. Just try to understand, dear student. Suppose I have one metal cube, okay? This is metal cube I have. Now, if I try to melt this metal cube, and after melting this, whatever metal is available to me, if I design from this metal which is available to me by melting this cube, And suppose from this metal I design one cylinder. Suppose. Suppose I design one cylinder. So try to understand one very important thing, dear student. When one solid is melted and converted into other solid. Try to understand very important concept to be useful to you in even ninth and 10th standard. What I am asking is when one solid is melted and reshaped into another solid, what remains same? That is volume. Okay, dear student, this very important concept you have to keep in mind. What I told you, when one solid converts into another solid, volume remains the same. Here, if such example is given that a metal cube is melted and converted into cylinder, that means volume of the cube is equal to volume of the cylinder. This concept you have to remember when I solve one more example. Okay, dear student, is it clear in your mind? Not such MCQ, but I can still remember I have asked in your last WRT, which we have taken. In that I have asked one MCQ which I just want to discuss with you because it is related to this concept only. It was somewhat like this. Example was I have given this way. I am just modifying that sum, but it was like this. If area and circumference, I think somewhat like this only. Area and circumference of a circle are equal, somewhat like that I have given, then diameter of circle is dash. Somewhat like this, I think I can still remember. I have asked one such MCQ in last WRT as an inquisitive factor so that if any student can try out. Understand? Here, dear student, just now I discussed that when one solid melts, converts into other solid, whenever it happens that one solid converts into other, you can compare their volumes. Their volumes will be equal. Remember this. Here in this example, already dear student given area and circumference of a circle are equal. I have asked such MCQ in exam. Okay, so what you have to do, dear student? First, you will write area of circle Then, dear student, you will write circumference of circle. Okay, area of circle equal to circumference of the circle. Next step. Here you have to write area of circle. What is its formula, dear student? Pi r square. I think in some previous standard you have, if you have the concept of circle somewhat, if you have studied, and even if you do not have studied, then you need to remember this formula. Area of circle pi r square and circumference of circle 2 pi r. Dear student, you please note down both this particular formula. Area of circle equal to circumference of circle. Okay. Now pi got cancelled. One r also got cancelled. Here r is equal to 2. Okay. Centimeter if we want to mention. So we got R, dear student. What is D? Therefore, diameter, diameter is always twice than the radius. So 2 into 2, 4 centimeter. If you could have got this particular answer in the in our WRT 18, please verify. This way we can solve. Before, just verify, because I want to discuss with you one such another MCQ also. Though we are targeting the examples to compare volumes of two substances, but this is just for your knowledge. Okay, note down this. And you please note down these two formula also. This is the formula for area of circle, and this is the formula for circumference of the circle. You need to concentrate on both. Understand? Circumference means, dear student, total boundary of the circle, that's called circumference. Okay. Before we discuss next MCQ example, whatever you consider, we are targeting this two particular formula. So this two formula has to remain in your mind. What is the formula for area of circle? Pi r square. Circumference of circle 2 pi r. Okay. Let us discuss, dear student, one example of this type which involves the utilization of this particular formulas. Okay. Suppose I write one example for you. It is like this. The area of circle is 154 square centimeter. Area of circle is 154 square centimeter. Then find its find its circumference. Dear student, before I solve this example for you, I am giving you just 2 minutes time to think on this. If you can solve this example by yourself, okay? Area of circle has been given. That's given 154 square centimeter. Area is given, you have to find circumference. I have already in the previous example given you formula of both. I have given you formula of area of circle and formula of circumference of circle. Both I have already given to you. Okay. So dear student, just 1 minute and then I will continue the solution of this sum here. Area of circle has been given and you are looking for circumference of the circle. Okay. How can we solve this particular example? Just be conscious. Dear student, I would like to divide this particular sum into three parts. First, we will utilize the given data. Area is given, that will be utilized to find a radius. And after finding the radius, we will find circumference. Okay. So first stage of the sum, I would like to write this. Area, please note down, area of circle equals to pi r square. Area of circle has been given 154 equal to pi, as you know, into r square. Okay. Area of circle value is replaced in its place. Value of pi 22 upon 7. R is our target. Now the cross multiplication. 7 will cross multiply 22 here. So this is 154 into 7 upon 22 equal to r square. Okay. 22 7 ja 54. 7 7 ja 49 equal to r square. Just take the square root. 7 equal to r. So dear student, you got the value of radius r. that is 7 centimeter. Okay, if you just want to mention r equal to 7 centimeter, then dear student, you can easily find circumference. What is the formula of the circumference? 2 pi r. What is the value of pi? 22 upon 7 r7. This is cancel. 44 centimeter you got. Just look at the data of the sum, because we were given area of circle. Okay, so first we utilize the formula of area of circle to find the radius. Okay, and after you find the radius, then it is quite easy to find circumference. Okay, just have a look at this. So these are some special examples, dear student, rather understand, and we haven't intentionally covered in our regular lecture. Understand, because target was to take these few examples separately in revision lecture. That was the target when we started this chapter, that in this particular chapter, whatever the scratch, some of the examples we leave out, we left them during our regular lectures. The target was to revise those examples properly, with relaxed mind, understand in the revision lectures. Okay, you just verify it. Circumference area was given, you find circumference. I can twist this example also, dear student. You will be given circumference and you have to find area. So by utilizing the data of circumference formula, first you will find r and then you will find area. This is the way you can be asked such examples. Okay, so dear student, mind one thing very well, and as I am continually just giving you this guideline, that revision lectures are the purpose is that some of the topics which we haven't revised during regular lecture are included here, which you need to practice. If you are delivered homework to do some twice, you need to do them twice without seeing any time. This will help you a lot. Okay, dear student, thank you very much.